Welcome to the Ladies Who Leverage podcast, where we empower women to own their power, create influence and impact, and live life unapologetically AF. It's time to leverage your expertise, resources, and relationships to build your business, brand, and badassery. So just click subscribe and let's get it. I'm your host, Kelly Charles Collins. Welcome to the Ladies Who Leverage podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Charles Collins. And today, y'all, my girl, Precious Williams, the killer pitch master, is here with us. I'm so excited. I just love talking to Precious. She's my dear friend. So let me tell you about Precious, a little bit about Precious. So this is how she introduces herself, y'all, not just like the normal run of the mill. Hi, my name's Precious. No, that's not what we get with Precious. Here's what she wrote for her bio. Have you ever met the full-figure diva who has taken the business world by storm and won big? Well, now you have. Precious L. Williams, also affectionately known as the Killer Pitch Master, can help you slay all competition with her killer elevator pitches, media pitches, and investor pitches. Precious is a world-class master communicator who works with successful entrepreneurs and speakers and helps them take their professional pitching and speaking skills to the next level. She's no joke. She is no joke. Welcome, Precious. I am so glad that you're here with me on the podcast.
Me too. I'm excited.
So,
I wake up like this, right?
Right.
I go to sleep like this, right?
So Precious, let's talk about, so you are the killer pitch master. Girl, yes. What is that? Tell everybody what that is.
As the killer pitch master, the reason why I'm called the killer pitch master is because I slay all competition. And I got that name from MC Lyte and Robert Townsend. Yes, of the 5 heartbeats and all of that. They gave me that title when I won the Black Enterprise National Elevator Pitch Competition on May 16, 2013 in Columbus, Ohio. And they knew from the minute I opened my mouth, they were like, she's the winner. It's the confidence, the swagoo, all of that. And she knows her stuff. That's the killer pitch master. She's slaying everybody, everywhere. And I said, yes, that's who I will respond to now. Yes.
Yeah. And Precious, you didn't start off in this arena of pitching. So kind of give us your backstory. Tell us where you were in that journey. Because Ladies Who Leverage podcast, I want people to understand that we all go through a journey. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we can still come out on the other side.
What?
So Precious, tell us where you were. Like, what were you doing and how did you end up being the killer pitch master?
Yeah, I love this question because I was, as you were talking to me, I saw myself as the little girl and I had these little dolls and I was speaking to them like Sally Jesse Raphael and Phil Donahue back in the day.
Oh God, back in the day.
What? And I loved her with her red glass. It was something I like it funky. I don't like people who look like, I don't like that. So I just knew from watching them, that's what I was supposed to do. When I was 5 years old, it's like I heard God say, you're going to be a talk show host. All right. But as Joe Osteen always says, in the natural, I was living with a mother who did not want me. And my father was largely absent because she kicked him out because of his drug problem. So when I even look back over those times, I'm just like, something in me knew I was special, even though no one in my community said so. None of my family told me so. I just had this in me that I knew I was somebody. And then, growing up with my mother, who was just very, very, very abusive, mentally and physically, just hard to deal with. And I came alive at school. And so I had great grades, but I was always in the hallway for talking. Still in the hallway for talking. Getting
getting paid to talk.
Yeah, now I'm book busy and paid to talk. Right. And so back then, that was my way of really connecting with people because at home I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel connected to my sisters. I didn't feel connected to anyone. And the boys weren't trying to show no love, But anyway, long story short, my grandparents really stepped in when I was 15 years old and asked my father, because I went through a difficult situation with my mom, and asked them to raise me. And I was just like, I ain't trying to go to no old people. When I'm telling you, I'm so glad I didn't make that decision. because my grandmother, from the time I walked through that door, showed that song by Heavy D. I got nothing but love for you, but I got you got it. And so she cooked, she cleaned, but she always told me, she made me do affirmations in the mirror. I'm the greatest of all time. And she would say, girl, when you speak, people listen. Have you ever noticed that? And I was like, no, not really. But she would just pour that love on me and say, Oprah's gonna know your name. Word? Going on my name? Like, why? And so with her encouragement and love, I went from being such a dark person to such a loving person. And then when I was 16 years old, the principal of my high school, Mr. Floyd Cruz, he asked me to speak at an event. And when you're 16, what are you really afraid of? You gonna feed me? Some things never change. Okay, so so I went to this event with my grandmother. It was before the mayor of the city of St. Louis. What? And killed it because one of my English teachers wrote my speech. Never saw it beforehand, just got up and delivered it, and they were just shocked. And then next thing I know, I was speaking before the governor of Missouri, just like that. Then I was speaking at fundraisers, scholarships, and I was just getting scholarships and stuff like that. Didn't think it was really a big deal. I thought everybody could do it. Now I know, oh no. And so then went off to Spelman College, went off to Georgetown, went off to Rutgers, kept speaking throughout. But it really wasn't until I wanted to start my own company and leave the law behind, to start Curvy Girls Lingerie, that I had no choice but to pitch. And the way I did it was crazy. But in the end, I pitched before the producers of MSNBC at an event I could not afford. And somehow walked out at 327 pounds, Black on both sides, no Ivy League degree, no business skills, no drawing skills, walked out with an opportunity to appear on Your Business with JJ Ramberg. And then when they came and picked me up to do the pitch, and I got to Rockefeller Center, it was so real to me. It was like, oh my God, everybody said it would never happen, and it's happening. And when I got on that set, lights, camera, action, when I walked through the door, people know my crew, we certified stars, and just, I pitched in 54 seconds. That's all it took to get $500,000. And this was 10 years ago. And so when they told me you have to keep pitching because you really are good, you don't sound like everybody else. Now you can hear that, but I don't think I really understood it until maybe in my sixth competition. I'm like, I'm just killing fools left and right. Like, I don't get nervous when I have to pitch because I'm like, I want you to come with your A game because that's going to make me rise to the occasion. And just like Ric Flair used to say, to be the best, you got to beat the best. I'm ready at all times to beat the best. I'm ready. And so going into competition, plus I needed the money, plus rent was due, plus, no, I ain't coming here to play. I came to slay. And so that's how it started. Out of necessity, not having any money to start my company, having everybody against me saying it would never work. No one cares about big girls. Nobody cares about fat women. And I was like, no, they full-figured divas and plus-size fashionistas. You change your language, you change the game. And that's something I will never, ever forget. People talk about themselves in such a boring way. And I want you to put some color on that. When they say put some respect on my name, put some color on it too.
Mm-hmm. It's so important. There's such power in words, right? And the reframing of words. And when people, just like you said, instead of just being like, people say, oh, fat girls, no, curvy girls, right? And that just gives it a whole different angle for people to look at it. And you glossed over this a little bit, but I'm not going to let you gloss over it.
Okay, that's cool, queen.
The fact that you were a lawyer, right? Yeah. And not that you were. To me, once you go to law school, and you're always a lawyer, right?
Right.
You no longer practice. But I want you to talk a little bit about that, Precious, like that movement from, being in Spelman and then going to Georgetown and then,
getting kicked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because it wasn't just like, oh, I decided not to do this anymore. Right. And also talk about what it took for you to then to finally be comfortable in talking about this part of your life.
Spelman was such a great experience. It's very tough for me, right? I came from an inner city school, and here I am on a full scholarship, feeling like the girls they're all gonna, like in Carrie, they're all gonna laugh at you. No one laughed at me. They were kind of in awe of me, like, wow, everywhere I've been, I'd only been to Blytheville, Arkansas in my young life, never anybody where else. So as I was finishing up Spelman. I had gotten into Georgetown, and that was the first school I got into. And I never forget, I was running up and down the 350 Spelman Lane, and I was like, I got into Georgetown. They're like, yeah, but asked me, were they surprised? No. And getting geared up to go to, so I graduated, that was a bop. Doing something everybody told me I could not do. But at the end of the day, what I learned from that, when I went into Georgetown, keeping it a buck with you, and this, keeping it a buck, I personally felt like I did not belong from day one. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am not that great. Everybody's parents were diplomats and senators and stuff like that, and they're asking me questions about my family. I can't even front like they had done these what the world calls success. And so for me, I just felt like I don't understand. Like Marbury versus Madison, I'm like, I don't even know why we still here a month later. I'm just trying to understand why we still here, and just feeling like I don't get this. And I just felt like there was something truly wrong with my brain, not knowing that's part of the law school, like I'm here on affirmative action or I don't belong here. And so, I left on my birthday, came back March 15th and was told, you've been disenrolled, your granddaddy knows. So if my granddad knows, the family knows. So the family is telling him, told you she wasn't all that, da 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 da. And so had to deal with that. And I was depressed for 5 years. And even though one of my mentors at Sullivan and Cromwell, top firm, told me to go over to Rutgers and speak with the dean, I was like, at Georgetown, you can't just roll up on a dean. At Rutgers, you can't, right? And so I spoke to Dean Bushu, and she was, I'm expecting her to be like, now, little black girl. She was like, so yeah, so with your credentials, you can get a full scholarship here. In fact, we'll give you in-state tuition and all that. So everything is taken care of.
Wow.
Jigga who? Jigga what? And then Georgetown was like, oh, we'll let you back in. You can come part-time. And I got to pay for it? Nah, I'll go to Rutgers. But even in my time at Rutgers, I still felt like maybe I'm just really not a smart chick. Maybe I'm, whatever. And I had a nervous breakdown April 12th, 2004. And then I really thought, this is really over. It's not meant for me to do. And I remember my aunt, Lorraine King, Auntie Jackie, she called that dean. She said, you better get to her in that hospital before I get to you. Don't nobody want my Aunt Jackie. She ain't what you want. So the dean came to my room. I'm feeling all like, I was in the psych ward for three months, Queen. And so when she came, she said, Precious, you're going to get through this. And I'm looking at her like, nah. I can tell you my last semester, I literally went from wearing sweatpants, not showering and anything like that, to rocking these hot pink and hot purple suits, to walking into the special remand court and having them shook. I said, because I know you ain't never seen nothing like me. It took me my last semester to figure out I'm a litigator. I'm not really for the theory, and that's cute. That's not really how I roll. And so I became the number one student attorney in my class, and everyone who used to look at me like I was a bum was just like in awe. And like when I spoke, they were like, she's really that bad. And so on December 15, 2006, I had my final trial, won, walked out, and that was my last day of school. And forgive me if I get a little emotional. I remember my ex-fiance was with me, and I couldn't believe that was my last day because I never thought I would get to the end of law school. I took the February 2007 bar, and mind you, I had full scholarship to pay for my bar review expenses. And I took New York, and I knew I passed. I took New Jersey, knew I failed. No doubt in my mind. I knew this. The results came out May 4th for New York. I passed. May 7th, New Jersey, failed. I walked the stage on May 25th, 2007, and 17 people, family, friends, and loved ones from around the country flew out to watch me do something that none of us thought was possible. And I remember when they called my name, I'm just thinking, my peeps gonna show love. It was like, it was such an explosion. It's like when I graduated from Spelman and when I graduated from Rutgers, it was an explosion when I hit that stage. And I'm just like, I'm thinking that's the best it's ever gonna be. Started working as an attorney. This is what it's gonna be like for real. Like for real.
No, right? It's so life. Different. Being an attorney.
Like I was like, hold up.
Than what people think.
Right. It's cute when you in law school, you're like, oh, it's cute, it's about. You get into it, you be like, no, this is life for 40 years, so for real. Mm-hmm. And I've always been different. I've always been a rule breaker. So, when I would come down them hallways, I was loud. whatever, hot pink, hot purple. Girl, I was ridiculous when I look back. But I just didn't. I never fit in. I never fit in. Like in the courtroom, I'm ready to do battle. But just on a day to day, I just never fit into the environment, and they would trot me out for diversity. That's cute. That ain't what I'm here for. And it's like, oh, she's such a great speaker, as opposed to who else? Everybody can be that. So anyway, long story short, I left my ex-fiance, I had to drop him like it's hot, and put a little dating ad on a little ad on a dating. Okay, it's not dating, but he used to. Okay, okay, whatever. And I met a very famous Hollywood actor, and I never thought he would give me the time of day. I never thought we would have what we had, but my pitch in that ad got him. Speaking to him got him, and even though I was a size 28, when he held my hand in public, I couldn't even. I clutched the pearls. And I used to say, if every woman could feel this one time, it'll change the world. And I wanted to start a lingerie company because I couldn't find anything. Really, my color scheme. So I really wanted the red, hot, sexy, and fresh stuff. So I went all over to all these lingerie stores, and I really did the research. I'm not just coming up. I went to the library. I got the survey. Like I wrote a true business plan, and I expected people to support, and they just didn't. They just didn't see it. And I'm so glad that they didn't, because that forced me to work harder. So that's how it really happened. Getting into pitching, had I not met the love of my life, had I not met a man who looked beyond 327 and saw the woman within, and me wanting to have that for other women, and showing them that we are full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas, F what you heard from other people, and being able to go into into different offices, going into MTV, the VH1s, the Viacom, all these BET, like going into them and pitching shows and talking about this made me stronger. And even as I got pushback, I was like, just like when I quit my last position on July 15th, 2009. I remember you say you're never working this town again. I said they'll know my name before they know yours. Trust. And it's true. Yeah. Everything I said, bear it out. And so pitching was necessity. I had no money. And then just believing that if you look at other people who are always given the benefit of the doubt, I have to take some of that swag. Like I have to believe, I have to be unapologetic AF, but I also have to believe that if favor ain't fair, favor's gonna fall on me.
Yeah. And also Precious, to have the vision and the courage, right, to look beyond. So I'm a lawyer too, and there's so many women who will be listening to Ladies Who Leverage podcast who are high achievers, who've gotten whatever number of degrees and however many letters behind their name, and then but they want to do something else.
Yes, right? Break out the box.
Something else in life, and being afraid that other people are going to be like, but you spent all this money over here to do this. So for you, the courage and the vision. And so you did Curvy Girls, right? So you went out and you pitched and you got money and everything related to Curvy Girls. Mm-hmm. But then you did another transition, right, out of Curvy Girls into speaking and taking on the role of being Killer Pitch Master and leveraging that into your business now. So talk about that transition, like what happened with Curvy Girls, and how did you realize that what, it's not just about me pitching, but I can use this to help other people?
Honestly, every pitch competition, people will walk up and say, can you work with me? How much do you cost and stuff like that? I just, I thought, this is innate. I can't teach you what I got. And after watching just money just walk out the door, I was like, maybe I could do this. And, and I started Perfect Pitches by Precious because I already had ready-made clients. They had already seen me do it in action. So I took on 10 beta clients and they all won, not placed, won. And I was like, wow, maybe it's a unique way I teach, right? Because you're going to Google, who do you help? Who do you say? Like, that kind of stuff. And the only reason that Curvy Girls really stopped, if I'm going to keep it a buck, I don't like inventory. I don't like all that kind of stuff, but I can speak at the drop of a dime. I can train at the drop of a dime. And so when the love of my life died, and, I went through this severe depression, drinking, I just went through it. And it didn't matter to me anymore. The catalyst for me starting it is no longer here. And I knew it was going to be a disservice, but then I became homeless too. I drank myself into homelessness, and I drank myself into having nothing, no home, no nothing, no joy. Everything was gone. And just walking on the streets of New York and having no place to go and being like, I used to be so high, I used to be on Shark Tank. I was here, I was in movies, I was in documentaries, I was doing this. And now I'm reduced to eating out of garbage cans. And so again, I went to the Bowery Mission Women's Center. I was almost there for 2 years. And, I had such a back and forth with my business partner. We don't talk, we haven't talked in years. And I'm okay because I had to truly let that go. And I feel like God said to me, He's got to go for you to live. This company has to go. That's not why you were put on this earth. That was to get you to where I need you to be. You are a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a coach. And coming out of the Bowery Mission Women's Center after almost 2 years, it was just keep a job, keep a high paying job. And I was like, man, F that job. F that job. And I quit. And I had to sink or swim. And I had enough belief in myself and knowing that I'm God's chosen to know I can do it. And I know He's got me. And He put all the right people in place. And was it hard? Yes. Was it hard telling my pastor landlord, yeah, I ain't got it. I ain't got the rent. And we all live in the same house. Was it hard not, having to make ramen noodles the real deal, the full meal deal, plus a snack and a soda on the side? Was it hard having the big people that people throw up in my face a lot, turn their back on me, and now smile in my face now because I'm successful again? It was hard. But would I change it for the world? No. And I can honestly say that because now I have the gift of perspective. I feel like God always placed in me these difficult and somewhat insurmountable obstacles to prove how strong I am, and not as a strong Black woman, but just in having this intestinal, this mindset that come what may, I'm ready. I've been to hell and back. What can you do to me? So whereas the pandemic closed a lot of doors for people, economic downturn closed the doors for a lot of people, a lot of everything else closed the door. For me, it was like, oh, it's showtime now. Now you're about to separate the men from the boys and the girls from the women, because I done been through this. I did it alone. So now I'm gonna show you how it's really done. How do you gain visibility and stuff like that? And so that's how it happened. It was hard, but also, as you and I talk, Queen Kelly, one of the greatest lessons is I don't do it alone now. I have my ladies who leverage. I have women who care for me. No matter if I lost everything tomorrow, I know I can call on you and all the crew and be like, yo, I need some groceries. I need a place to stay, y'all. I need this. And I can have that because I put in the goodwill and the good work too. Yeah. Y'all can call on me. Y'all know what time it is. And so I didn't have a support network back then. It was about being showy and perfect. Now it's about being authentic and transparent. And that's why people resonate more with me, because I could tell you it was I just got here. I just knew all the right people. No, I failed my way here. And that's how I can tell you and other people, reach out. You have diamonds in your backyard. You're too busy looking at somebody else's backyard. The diamonds are in your backyard. And that's why I write the books on pitching, because if anybody can give you a formula for pitching, it ain't going to be what you need. So
let's talk about those books. So you brought up the book. Let's talk about those books, because
Bad Bitches and Power Pitches.
Those books have been doing well. And and for our audience, I met Precious because of her book. Because of her first book. Precious was trying to figure out the title for her book, and her book, she'll tell you the title, but it includes the word bitch. And she was trying to decide whether or not she should use that word in her book title. And me, I was like, go for it. Just go for it. And so I then after that started watching and just, following Precious, because I just thought she was a really interesting person, and just really going after what she wanted. And so talk to us about those books, Miss Precious.
Child, that was three. My books are called Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for women entrepreneurs and speakers only. And then I have Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, the workbook. I wrote those books because I felt like no one was really speaking women in the space. Most women struggle with confidence. I don't care if you are the CEO, the VP, the director, you the janitor. Women struggle with confidence and thinking they have to look and talk and act a certain way, and so that clouds your brain from really delivering the pitch of a lifetime. And so, whereas most pitch books are focused on a formula, I want to focus on the personas. Like, what rules you? Are you unstoppable? Are you someone who understands numbers? Are you creative? Are you mysterious? Are you powerful? Are you flawed? Like all of these things. Because once you understand your persona, then you can start creating a great pitch for yourself, which comes in my second book, which is the workbook, and creating pitches based on knowing who you truly are. Not who she is, not who you want to be, but on who you are. So I'm unstoppable and I'm flawed. I'm unstoppable because no matter what you do to me, I'm gonna rise like the phoenix and I'm gonna say hi to you on my way back up. I'm flawed because everything that people think you should be, I am not. I'm tall, but I'm not thin. I don't have six pack abs. My hair is short and natural. Like I act up. Sometimes my makeup is wrong, whatever. No one cares about it with me. They're just like, that's who she is. My talent truly outweighs everything. You often heard the inverse of that. Like if you just look good, everybody will buy. But what if that's not your thing? So I'm flawed deeply, but my pictures are hella perfect. And they will outshine any of the cutest, the hottest, the Kardashian, all of that. I will outshine them. It's not even a problem. And so if you rule by power, if every time you step in the room, it's truly all eyes on you, take advantage of that. We're going to create the pitch for that. If you're creative, you'll come with a different way of pitching that's going to throw everybody off. If you're ruled by numbers, you are someone who can tell a story through numbers. I could never do that. I'll write it, but I could never be just looking at numbers and be like, this is a beautiful mind. No, I got a creative mind. I ain't got a beautiful mind with the numbers. So just thinking about that. And so that's how you start to do it. Once you understand who you are, then you can write it. But if you're just looking at a standard formula, you're going to be treated as average, random, or ordinary. And what we do, we badass. That's why it's called bad bitches and power pitches. It's written for the unapologetic AF chick. It's written for the woman who's like, I'm tired of being in a box, even a box I created. I'm ready to launch something. I'm ready to blossom. I'm ready for that 40-year plus glow up. I'm 50. I'm glowing up. I'm 60. I'm glowing up. I'm 70. I'm glowing up. And it didn't require surgery. It didn't require me having to switch up the code. You know what I'm saying? So Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, when it came out, it was a #1 bestseller, and then went in the bestseller status again a year later. And the second book came out last year, came out at #1. And it just taught me something, like working with Sharon Monet, who's also with Ladies Who Leverage. She's my book coach, and she was also my publisher. I went to big publishers and didn't
And
like
my
the terms.
soror goes Zig 5B.
You know it, you know it, you know it. And when I tell you, speaking with her, and yeah, she beat me up. She beat me up. She's like, don't turn in crap. And I was like, yo, that's some good stuff. Nope. Okay, you know what she said? No, I can't. All right, I'm good. I'm not used to women talking to me like that. Kind of like it. All right. And so she whipped me into shape. So I can tell you those words on that page are mine. It's not ghost written. I wrote that. Not only did I write it, I lived it. And so I would never tell somebody something I haven't done. And so writing those books was hard, but it's so beautiful. And even today, Queen, I know you saw me post. I sent out 47 books today. That came from yesterday and Saturday's orders. Think about that. That's on my website, not Amazon. And they send out on their own. But when you go to my website, I hand sign and send it out. And I'm just so happy that it's still selling. It didn't have a shelf life of a month or 3 days. It had a shelf life. We're going into 2 years now. And so my third book is coming.
Yeah.
It's called Pitching for Profit, the Bad Bitches Playbook to Convert Conversations into Currency. So once you got your pitching your pitching gig together, once you know how to, get media attention, how do you get investors interested in you? How do you go to networking events and just blow them away? Like people ain't looking for your business card. They're like, yo, give me that LinkedIn. Oh, send me that website. Oh, I'm buying. That's great. You finally got the job of your dreams. Now what? Now you need to mobilize your website. Now you need to mobilize your network. You need to let them do the heavy lifting for you. So, Kelly, have you ever been in a situation where there's awards and stuff like that they're looking for submissions for awards, and you're like, man, I guess I'll nominate myself because ain't nobody thinking about me. Well, there are people thinking about you. They just need to know what you need them to do. And so once you start to monetize your network, and that's why it's important to have let grow your network. So it's not just you and your homies, it's people from different races, cultures, creeds, orientations. Is so important, because the more people see you, the more you won't be just that black chick or that person of color or that white woman or that white man. It's like everybody loves what you do because you created a lane. And so when things come up or somebody's talking about something, you're not there, and they're like, oh, you need Precious Williams. Oh, you need Kelly Charles Collins. Oh yeah, you need that. Oh yeah, here's her website or whatever. Oh, let me make the warm intro. And they're just doing that. And that's what's been happening for the last like year to year and a half. I'm getting nominated for awards. My clients are getting nominated. They're getting spoken about in circles that they've never did. Do you know there's speaking engagements that never advertised? Did you know that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did not.
But and that's like everything, right? It's jobs, opportunities, and it's the power of association and having your name being able to be spoken in rooms that you're not in.
Right. And see, I didn't know that. And so when people were like, yo, I nominated you for this, or yo, there's this thing, it's invite only, but I put you on. And I'm just like, I would never know this. And they're like, welcome to the club. And that's a beautiful thing, right? And so how do you get affiliates and referrals and not have to stress them all day every day to do their thing? How do you get people to love you so much? Not only are they sending you gifts, they're shouting you out everywhere on social media. Every time somebody buys my books, do you know how much I get a tickle about that? People are like, you post about your book every day like it's brand new. It is to me because somebody new bought it. So just knowing how to do that. How do you have your mailing list different from your VIPs? Why do I have media VIPs? Why do I have investor VIPs? Because you would never treat them the way you treat your mailing list. You keep them involved in as you go up. Shooting that MasterCard priceless campaign, nothing but the right network knowing she's the one. Oh, you ain't never heard of her? Let me drop some tea on you why you should work with her. And just getting it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so going from feeling worthless as a child to being priceless at 42, that's the 40-year plus glow up. And
Yeah.
so I write my books for women to show you the society will tell us we don't matter after a certain age, or if we don't measure up the way they think we should. And I say, embrace your difference. And pitching, you can pitch like everybody else and get done like everybody else, or you can pitch with the masters and get invited everywhere. You don't have
Yeah.
to be known by everybody. You need to be known by the right people. And so
By the
that's
right
what my
people.
books
Yeah.
do. And so pitching for profit, what's next when you finish pitching? What's next? How do you make that relationship last? How do you build on it? How do you make it grow? And how do you get the people to still love you years and years and years after the fact? People have heard some of my story and they're like, I can say a word for it, but I still love hearing it.
Yeah, because just for you and for all of us, the things that happen to us in life, they're just part of the journey,
They
right?
really are.
Sometimes that journey is bumpy. I always, I think life is not linear, and so you just have to go with it. And yeah, we
Is it
have
like the
we have like
Kenny Rogers song? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them,
know when to
know when to
fold
walk
them, know when
away,
to
know when
walk
to
away,
run.
know when to run.
It's
Exactly.
like it's like what we say it. Play the hand you're dealt.
Yeah,
Some people were dealt a winning hand from the beginning. Some have to play the hand they're dealt and turn it into a winning.
that's right.
What do you think? Think
So I
about,
want
like, I was
to
thinking.
talk to you. I want to talk to you about, because you just mentioned it, the 40-year glow up, right? As
Mhm.
women, as we get older, there's a huge thing about ageism, and we're not the no longer the young, pretty, whatever they think, right? But I watch you. Me, I'm 51. So just in talk to us about what that's like when you're in your 40s, you get into your 50s, as you get older, that glow up and that real understanding of who you are and being able to just take life by storm.
I, ever since I was 16, I remember saying 30 was old. I remember that those words coming out of my mouth. And then when I hit 30, I was like, oh, life is starting to make a little sense. You know what I mean? And then as I was getting closer to 40, I know women freak out. And I was just like, I felt like just lean into it for real. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for a new chapter and to define it for myself and not have others define me. Being the killer pitch master, I take that, I take that as like being a leader and actually matching the words that I say. Is, not just saying pretty words or platitudes. And so as I started entering into my 40s, it was a blessing, right? Now, metabolism has slowed down. We're not even gonna lie. There's some aches that weren't there at 22. If I fall, give me 5 minutes, to make sure everything, faculties are right, where I could jump up in my 20s. Now, this is where experience is really beautiful. It's really beautiful because there are certain things you don't stand for anymore. When someone disrespects you, we out. We're not even worried about it, or you can see things for what they are, not what you want them to be. You know what I mean? And so, when I switch my wigs, when I change up my makeup, when I do certain things, I'm excited because I feel comfortable in my own skin. I'm not saying that it's every day, but most days I'm hella comfortable. I got one tooth in my mouth. What we doing? What we doing? And just accepting that even the 20-year-olds today will be 40 at some point. Let them have their time. We've had it. So let's celebrate the gift of today. Today, what you could get over with a young woman, I'm smelling a mile away. I don't even want that. I don't want none of that. The business decisions I make now are from actually having been in business and not just, oh, that just looks good. Oh, da, da, da. You know what I mean? And so when I say the 40-year glow up, is not necessarily the physical, it's really tapping into the emotional, mental, and spiritual part of you. It's a blessing to get to this age. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's a blessing. That's why I remember with your grandmother, she would see your friends and she'd be like, that person ain't no good. You'd be like, she old, or your mom they knew exactly what they were talking about because they had been there and done that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I call it, the glow up. In that I'm respected at this age. I'm respected. As a young person, I didn't know who the hell I was. So I went wherever the wind blew. And so that's why I call it the glow up and celebrating now. Just like we always talk about Black history. What about now? We're making Black history now. We're making women's history now. It's not just always looking back now. How do we build a legacy now? How do we make women more comfortable with getting older now? And if you can't afford plastic surgery, oh well. If you can't switch up your wig game, maybe you switch up your hairline. I don't know. Maybe you get funky and start wearing black lipstick. I don't know. But I want you to feel comfortable in your own skin to move to the beat of your drum. Because society is changing. And if you start to notice, yes, it's great to glorify the not even the six-pack ass, but the hourglass shape. Baby, I don't even know what my shape is. I know it suits me well. And my clients ain't even worried about it.
Yeah. It's important to live in the now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plan for the future, but also really live in the now and savor what's happening then. So, Precious, as we come to the end of our conversation, I have two things I want to know from you. One, what's next for Precious? That's the first thing. So, what's next for Precious?
I have an upcoming conference called Pitch Please, the Ultimate Women's Power Pitch Summit. That's coming up. And, the launch of the third book, even though it's in pre-sales now, the launch of my third book, Pitching for Profit, the Bad Bitches Playbook to Convert Conversations into Currency. That's coming up. My Priceless ad campaign with MasterCard is coming up, and really branching more and more into more corporate training gigs and, a dual hosted talk show. So that's what's coming up.
That's awesome. And if people want to get in contact with you, how would they contact you?
Great way to contact with me would be to go to LinkedIn, go to linkedin.com, type in Precious L. Williams, Killer Pitchmaster. That's a great way you can, get in my inbox. Another great way is go to my website, www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. You can also go on Twitter. I am at Perfect Pitch P. On Facebook, I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On Instagram, I'm at Perfect Pitches P. And if you even go to my YouTube channel, yes, I do respond to messages even there. You can go to Precious L. Williams on YouTube. That's how you can get in contact with me.
Listen, if you just put in Precious Williams, you'll find
everything will pop up. You're right.
Find her everywhere. So, Precious, last thing before we go, what is your favorite quote?
It used to be fortune favors the bold, but now it's I can take you where they never could.
Awesome. Precious L. Williams, I just love you. I just love you. I adore you. I am so blessed to have you as my friend. We've never met in person, not yet,
Ever?
actually. We haven't met in person, but we will one day. But
We will.
I am so honored to call you friend, and I'm so thankful that you joined us today on the Ladies Who Leverage
I am proud to
podcast.
be an investor,
Yes, of Ladies Who
like
Leverage.
an investor in Ladies Who Leverage. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we love you. And so I will see you one day soon. And I am always rooting for you. You know, you got this. And as Ladies Who Leverage, we live life unapologetically AF. Thanks for joining us. This podcast is brought to you by Lady Lawyer Media. If you're a badass woman who's ready to take action to live life unapologetically AF, then you need to join our global community on Facebook, Ladies Who Leverage. And remember to subscribe to our podcast. And until next time, let's collabosource, strategize, and monetize.